Cold smoked salmon differs from many other smoked products in that it is not usually brined, but is more often salted. Smoked salmon is also usually eaten uncooked, so processors have to pay particular attention to ensuring food safety through the application of good manufacturing practices and adherence to an effective HACCP plan. The following material is a combination of the processes as practiced at Loch Fyne oysters and pinnies. Whole farmed salmon are first processed into salmon sides, using a sophisticated processing line for larger production runs, or the more traditional hand filleting for smaller production runs. These fish usually range in size from 2 kilograms to 4 kilograms in weight. Here you can see the fish being filleted on a bed of salt. This helps to grip the fish and aids the filleter. The cleaned salmon sides are now ready to be salted. This small strip of skin is removed from the thickest part of the fillet so that salt can penetrate from both sides. This is called venting. Not all salmon smokers use venting. Pinnies, for example, no longer vent their salmon sides. Salt can be added to the side using this mechanical processor-controlled equipment or by hand. Whichever method is used, the amount of salt varies from the thickest to the thinnest part of the fillet, but must be at least 3.5% in the aqueous phase of the finished product. Typically, salmon smokers aim for 3.7% in the aqueous phase. This is roughly equivalent to a total salt content of 2.5 to 3% salt, and is what gives smoked salmon its long shelf life. The salt may be flavoured with sugar and other additions to give a very distinctive end result. The salted sides are left in a chilled resting area to start the drying process as water is drawn out of the fish flesh. This process cannot be rushed and is an important step in developing the distinctive pellicle and all important textural transformation that is so characteristic in smoked fish. After a number of hours, the sides of salmon are ready for the smoking kiln. The actual duration of salting depends on many factors, including temperature and the weight loss or curing yield target set by the processor. If this is rushed, then the end result could be smoked salmon that is still losing water in the finished pack. The salt is briefly rinsed off before the fillets are placed in the kiln. The kilns used in these two companies are mechanical kilns that help to produce a consistently high-quality product. Even so, there is a significant skill requirement in adjusting the processing times and flow rates to achieve the desired end result. After smoking, the next stages start with chilling and maturation. Maturation is a necessary step before the salmon is sliced and may take up to 48 hours for the salt and flavours to permeate throughout the flesh of the salmon side. Maturation is also important in other smoked fish, but as they are usually dispatched as whole fillets, they can mature on their way to the customer. Trimming, slicing and packing are the next stages in the operation. Here you can see the side of the salmon being hand-trimmed. The trimmed fillet is next placed on the pin boning machine, where most of the pin bones are pulled out. A mechanical circular knife is used to trim off a thin sliver of excess fat from the salmon side. If a standard knife is used, then it's difficult not to trim off too much flesh. These fillets are almost ready for slicing, but first they are checked by hand and any remaining pin bones pulled out. Salmon slicing is still carried out by hand in very small businesses, but these two companies use mechanical slicers, which are very effective and consistent. The sliced salmon may be packed as a single side, or used in much smaller quantities in individual packs. Through a combination of salting and moisture loss, during both curing and smoking, smoked salmon is given a longer shelf life than most ready-to-cook smoked seafood. Shelf lives of more than 10 days and up to 21 days are not uncommon for high-quality smoked salmon. It is a fine balance to maximise yield, ensure food safety and guarantee an excellent product. Cold smoked salmon is the main smoked salmon product produced in the UK, but there are other important products, such as Gravlax, which is a salmon fillet cured in a mixture of salt, sugar, dill and peppercorns. Similar in appearance to smoked salmon, it is also usually served thinly sliced.